Welcome to Humans Behind Art. Guest for today's episode is the dancer Albert Galindo. And we had a beautiful and interesting conversation about what it means to be an artist and the kind of pressures that we have to be successful in a way. And we were looking at the kind of role that schools and institutions have inside all of this. Today will be part one of this conversation, and next week we will have part two for you. So I advise you to subscribe to CAPTA LAVIE to not miss out on that. Before starting into the episode, we have to give a big thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon who make all of this possible. If you enjoy what we do and are looking for early access to all of our content, or maybe you want to watch live our recording sessions for Humans Behind Art and want to ask your own questions to our guests, then I very much invite you to become a supporter on Patreon as well. And not only support what we are doing here, but give yourself access to bring yourself into this community as well and help to grow this community of artists for artists here on CAPTA LAVIE. Enough pre-talk. Lean back, enjoy today's episode, and of course feel free to share your own thoughts and ideas, comments, whatever, in the comment section down below. Enjoy.
So my name is Albert. I'm from Spain. I'm a dancer, currently living in Germany, and yes, I've been dancing for professionally for the past 10 years, and yeah, it's been a journey. I lived in Spain. I lived in the US, in Canada, and in Israel, and now in Germany.
Nice. And from the conversation we had some days ago already, you were working under various different companies and took various paths in your dance career. Can you say a little bit about those stations kind of that you had on your career?
Yeah, no, it's something like I always kind of like have a bit of a laugh about it because I started to study in Institut del Teatre in Barcelona. It's a conservatoire there, and from there I did a competition, and I won the first prize, and they gave me a scholarship to go to study in Peri Dance. It's a school in New York, and so I just I was like, okay, let's be brave, let's go. So I went there, and I was 16 at that time, so I really didn't know. I was really naive, and so I went there, and I was there for 2 years. And while I was there, they asked me to join as an apprentice in the company. So I was doing part-time studying in the morning, and in the afternoon I was taking the rehearsals with the company. And from there, when I turned 18, then I was like, no, I want to go back to school. I want to study more. I miss this like routine, and I want to learn. So I applied for this school in Canada called Arts Umbrella, and I went there, and I studied there for 2 years. It's a school that is located in Vancouver, and I got immediately after my graduating from the school, I got an apprentice contract with Ballet BC, Ballet British Columbia. It's a company that was directed by Emily Monger, and it's a rep company with a strong classical base, and from there, he decided to go back. They offered me another apprentice contract or something like that, but I didn't got the full contract as I was wishing not to get. So I decided to move back to Spain, and really out of nowhere, I went to see a show in the Greek festival in Barcelona, and I met the Kibbutz company after a show, drinking a beer, and I told them if I could take class with them, and they said yes, come tomorrow, and I did. And then I moved to Israel.
How things
And
go.
after a few seasons with Israel, then I said to myself, no, I feel like going back to Spain. So to Europe, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a summer which I had time, and there was an audition posted, and I was like, okay, let's try. So I did, and luckily I got the job. So I moved to Germany, and it's where I am right now.
Nice.
So if I look back, it's a bit of a weird mix of beautiful companies and beautiful places, but very different from one another. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's this like contrast that makes me feel like, whoa, like nothing was really planned, no? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, as those places have been so different as well, I would love to talk a little bit about institutions and companies in the world of dance and art in general. As
Mhm.
in all the different countries, I imagine things are working slightly different and are seen different as well. So I would love to talk with you a little bit about the role that institutions have and take in our current dance world, and if that is something positive or if there's also negative sides to it, and your stance towards that.
But institutions in which way? If I can ask.
Institutions in the way of big established dance companies that have an influence over the local scene, let's say, as
Mhm.
well as different academies and schools and their impact, as I always feel
Mhm.
that those places are very institutionalized, to me at least, as they very much
Yeah.
affect the kind of dance that is happening, at least in that area, and is as well the funnel in a way through which the audience experiences a lot of dance, because these are the big names and the big places that they often come to.
No, for sure. For sure. It is, I mean, it's, but it's also, I think it's good to know as well that if any big institution that is present right now that we all know that name, it started as a small independent project and a small
Yes.
independent mind nobody would believe, you know. So as much as sometimes we're like, oh my god, like they get all the fundings, or it's the only word that people know, so we need to bring space from other artists to come in. Like I think in a way we also need to be grateful that they exist,
Definitely.
and that's my, yeah. It's just that in the world of dance and in the art world, like it's so, we live out from such a small budget, that sometimes it's hard to find your own space and your own foundings or support for your own individual ideas, no?
Mm,
And so that's a bit, it's a bit tough for sure, no?
mm.
And also more when like we are in this career that has no, like it's all about like artistic expression and evolving, no, all the
Yes.
time. Um, but it's also so related to like as I said, no, like economical fundings, or who is given the trust to do something, no,
Mm,
that it's so complicated to maneuver that.
mm.
So yeah, sometimes it can be, like for example, like if the state needs to give money to a company, then they will go to the one that they know that has an audience.
Yes.
You know, it would maybe not go to the one who still didn't create their own audience and that are not known.
Mm,
So for me, in a way, like what I think it's best, it's when institutions, people who are already established, they give space for new choreographers or new innovators to come in
mm.
into their institution, and from there to create a name for themselves.
Yes.
That would be my, how I would like, glue it together and
Yeah.
work out the best. Yeah.
I very much agree, especially
Mhm.
as you started to talk a little bit about how things evolve as well in the entire art world in the end. And to let things evolve as well, there needs to be space for something new. There needs to be space for change, and the
Yeah.
audience themselves okay, they're the audience. They come to watch what they know exists,
Yeah.
and we need to as well take the risks, I think, there to use an established name, to use a place that has an audience, and bring something different, bring something new, and
Mm.
challenge what is already existing to let things evolve.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you with that,
Mm.
for sure. But I think it's happening. I mean, like I do want to believe that it's happening. But
For sure, it is happening. Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's no like because as I said, now people who arrive to that beautiful place of like, okay, I'm established and I have my audience and I have my money, like they can and they should be able to empathize with those new
Mm.
artists coming now, you know, because they were there at some point in their lives as well.
Yes.
So I think, you know, it not always happens, you know, but I mean, or at least I'm hopeful that it's gonna happen or it's happening in the moment, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, for sure, it's hard, you know. And also when you have, it's always this feeling, you always need to produce something good because enable for you to be able to reach to an audience or to have some kind of success, like then your product needs to be great.
Mm.
And it's really hard for a young artist to create something with this pressure of like it needs to be great because if I want to get another opportunity after this, like then this
Yeah.
needs to be like excellent, you know. So you already like start with this pressure, you
Mm.
know, when dance and art like should be a place to fail and to try and to not be good and to be good and you know, but it's a bit of it can be a bit of a struggle, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and especially if you have this pressure, I believe, of it has to be good, you naturally always tend towards the things that you know are working and function with an
Hmm.
audience, which again
Yeah,
then slows down any development and makes you hesitate to take risks and to
yeah,
be
absolutely.
experimental and find out another path that is more your own compared to the path that some of the established companies, for example, are going.
But this has happened to
Yeah.
me, like, and I don't mean it in a bad way at all, because
Mm.
I also, I don't know, I'm like starting in this to create my own things and to find my voice, no, but inside of the choreographic wall, let's say. But I have been in positions where I met people who would create something out of something that was safe,
Mm.
you know, that they knew that it worked because they have done it before and it works, so they're repeating themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And they sometimes you do it out of fear because you never know if, as I told you, know, like it's hard to be in this place of like not really knowing if what you're gonna make is gonna be well perceived, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I can relate to that a lot for
Mm.
sure. And as you said, no, it slows down then the process and the trust in yourself. But I think like something beautiful comes out when there's this artist dancer who like says, you know what, I'm just gonna follow my instinct and
Mm.
do what makes me happy and what calls my attention and what I want to say. And
Yeah.
when that works, then it's beautiful.
Yes.
Really, it is.
That's a bit
It's
the
just really hard
yeah.
because like a lot of it's always guided by also it's all also related of like how lucky you are at the moment, you know, and
Of course.
if, you know it's not only about yourself. Like you
Mm.
can be incredibly talented, but you also need to have a good team around you. It
Mm.
needs to be in the right moment. It needs, you know, it's there's a lot of
Yeah.
uh, things that not only depend about yourself. No?
Mm. Definitely, though, I don't think that it's only about being lucky and making the right thing in the right moment. I think,
Mm.
yes, for some people it might be like this and they might have this super lucky shot. But I think as well that for any creative person to just follow your guts and your instincts and do things and just produce whatever you feel like in that moment. It doesn't need to be the crazy big production that you're doing, but always according to, okay, what kind of tools do I have available right now? Okay, it might not be a show in a big theater, but a small show in an open stage from some friends in a community or something like this, just to keep making and keep working. And I think through that, then more opportunities will automatically open up. And then
Yeah.
it's just simple statistic of, okay, how many opportunities do I have and which one is then the lucky one inside of that. If I make only one piece, okay, I need to be very lucky. But if I'm constantly working and exploring, my chances to be seen and be recognized for what I do are getting a lot higher and bigger as well there.
Yeah, for sure. Like you need to create your own opportunities.
Yes.
That I agree. I had it's a funny story. I had a friend in Barcelona who always was like choreographing in the school, and he always was wanting to like do something after classes, and like he was the one who told me to apply for this dance competition in Barcelona that then got me to New York.
Yeah.
And so he came out with this idea. He was 18 at the time, of like doing a dance festival in his city in Figueras, is where the Dalí Museum is. It's a beautiful small city, and he came up with this idea of creating this like dance festival. And I remember the first year, I think he had maybe like 6,000 euros to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, but out of like, I mean, I don't want to know because I don't want to say because I don't really know exactly, but like, you know, it was a very small, yeah, funding. And like now, like I think it's 8 years already, like 8 years late, like it grew so much. It is beautiful. And it is a well-known festival. It's called Agitart. A lot of good companies had went there and performed, and he's mixing like dance with like cirque, with theater, with street performances, and it's, yeah. So it's like the first project that I've been able to like see it from the idea, from the first original idea until like completely blossoming into this beautiful thing that is right now.
Beautiful.
So yeah, like yeah, you create your own opportunities, and you just need to be committed. That's for sure. Yeah.
Nice. One thing you said earlier of, okay, having obstructions, but if you then still really go for it and really commit, and then something really strong and beautiful comes out. For me, that was pretty much the experience that I had when I was studying. I was studying at Kodats Circus and was struggling towards the third year of the study there a lot with, okay, what do I do on stage and where do I see the point in it? And I switched my main specialization then, and had a very hard time as well trying to get the trust from the school itself to let me graduate after having switched my main specialization, my main discipline in the last year essentially, and constantly had to justify myself in front of the school and had almost weekly meetings with the head of school, having to explain my progress of my creation and, okay, what am I doing and how am I getting there where they want me to be. And for me at the time, it was incredibly difficult and very frustrating and super hard as well psychologically on me. But in the end, it did help me a lot to clarify for myself, what is it that I really want? And what is it really that I consider my voice and my vision as an artist and a performer. And in the end, I came out of the school, and so they did let me graduate, and I passed as well, so I was happy about that. But I feel that comparing myself to other people in the field, when I talk with them, that yes, they do things and they do great things, but there's a lot this thing of, okay, I do what I did in school and I have fun with it and it's nice. And they're happy. Nothing wrong about that. I'm super happy for them. But I don't feel as much of a defined vision behind something, behind the work. And that is something that I, for myself, am very happy about that for myself, at least, I have it very clear. And then for me right now, in what I do at the moment, the medium, be it circus, be it dance, be it whatever, pretty much doesn't matter anymore because, okay, there is a vision that I have and I will use whatever medium I have access to in that moment to realize. And that's helping me a lot, actually. And I'm super grateful for that there were all those difficulties placed on me during my studies.
Yeah, but no, I get you. When I first started dancing, I wanted to be a flamenco dancer. No, sorry, if I go even back, I wanted to be a clown when I was a kid.
Okay.
That was my first wish. And then from there, I was like, wow, no, I want to be a flamenco dancer. I saw this show in Spain. I was so moved by it. And then I went to school and I was like, no, I think I'm going to be a ballet dancer. I like it. There's this fantasy. And then I was like, oh no, I think contemporary dance because it gives me more range. That was my idea. I can do more things. And now I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like really, no, but it's true. Like I feel now like I'm even more interested into like, whoa, I would love to sing on stage. I would love to do some kind of circus performance. I would love to do, like I think in a way we're performance. Serves that we are performers. Like so what we want to achieve is to like somehow find a way to transmit something to an audience and also to ourselves, to be touched by something and to touch somebody by it. But I believe that when you're in school or when you're young, like how we work as humans is always like we try to structure ourselves and we try to like define an image of who we're going to be. So sometimes when we don't fit in a group or when we're not equal to our colleagues in school, like you always feel like there's something wrong with you. But then like you grow up and you get out of the school and you realize, no, I'm becoming my own thing, It's a new thing, nobody knows about it because it's unique, so and it's beautiful. Like in my experience, I spent a lot of time in school like trying to vision who other would be and it never really worked out. But what worked out, I'm really happy about it. I wouldn't change a thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that makes sense.
No, at least to me it does. It again falls back towards creating your own opportunities and being open for things instead of, okay, I want to be in that company doing exactly this thing. It might be a nice idea, it might make you, this thought might make you happy at that moment, but if you block out everything else, just trying to get to exactly this point, you're losing something along the way.
Yeah, it's losing. I think it's losing the joy of the experience of getting there.
Yeah.
Like, and also to have those conversations with yourself and to let yourself be open for something else to come in and shift you around and push you into an even better direction that you don't even know yet. Yeah, like and I think as dancers or performers, we're like even though we work with our bodies, like we stay a lot in our minds as well. And that sometimes can be unhealthy.
Definitely.
So yeah, I really relate with that because I struggled a lot in school trying to understand who I wanted to be and trying to put a clear image to it, or even like I would get defined by teachers or by colleagues, and I would just trust their own sayings of who I was, but not really asking myself, who,
Mm.
what do I want to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But what I would say is like for any like young student or somebody who still doesn't know, like what what is really important is like to keep digging and to
Mm.
keep practicing and to keep working,
Yeah.
you know. um, you don't want to be a ballet dancer, but you're in a ballet school, like use the chance that you have right now of like
Mm.
taking class every day and keep your body fit.
Yeah.
And because you never know, maybe you will finish being a salsa dancer, but there was going to be a move that you can only do because you did ballet for 5 years,
Yeah.
you know. When I was in New York, like I had the chance to do like hip hop or salsa, and back then I was like so terrified by it, you know. And now I'm like, whoa, no, I'm so stupid. Why I didn't take it seriously? You know
Yeah.
that because now I could bring it and do something about it and
Yeah.
mix, you know. As more multifaceted as it can be, the best, and the more
Mm.
opportunities you will have later on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think as well, from the more experiences that you can make and the more you say yes to when you have the chance to, the more you can structure yourself as well, and the more tools you have to define yourself, because you can make much more decisions in what you do of, okay, I want to have an element of salsa in here because it expresses
Mhm.
something for me. But you can only do that if you have that capability in yourself.
Yeah.
And the more, like, you gather a lot of tools essentially, and the more tools you have, the more detailed I think you can work as well, and the more you can decide, okay, for this I need this tool and I can use it now.
Yeah. I had a friend who like was a really good, I mean, still a good friend. Um, uh, he started studying music composition, I think, or a composer, to being a composer,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing this training in the university where he was guiding an orchestra, or like, and he kind of like got so like touched by the feeling of like by his own movements of his arms and bodies, he was like creating music in a way. And then he was like, whoa, I love this, let's dig into it. And now like a few years later he's a dancer and like doing, you know, complete shift of what he was studying, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought like that's, I don't know, in my opinion that's very beautiful.
Yes.
But I think he was smart enough to be able to be open to receive this new information into his
Mm.
body and to understand, okay,
Yeah.
no, let's. And now when he creates, like he knows how to use music, he knows how to hear it, how to
Yeah.
compose it, the rhythm, you know, so he has these two elements, and it's
Mm.
great. It's just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Also, I mean, composing and choreographing are essentially the same thing, just using a different medium. So there's a
Uh-huh.
lot of overlap between different art forms if you're open enough to see the connections between the things, and you can take so much inspiration from different things.
Yeah.
Like I was interviewing Rafaelis Christofi a couple of days ago. He's a composer, and he made a musical piece that was used as well to make a video dance piece out of that he directed. And with him, I was talking as well about a bit more in depth about the music and his composition and how he did certain things and how he achieved them and the ideas that he had with it. And I saw so many parallels to what I'm trying to do in my own work. To
Mm.
Because in the end, it's just okay. How can I communicate with my audience using X medium? And it's super useful then to have all those tools and knowledge available.
Yeah.
Um, you said,
Also, like the last thing I wanna add
mm,
to it, I like you also we need to know as artists that when we want to create something, like I don't know, for example, my world is movement. Now I'm a dancer, let's say. But if I want to put something on stage, I need, let's say, for a normal like common production, like I need a costume designer, I need scenography, I need lights, I need a way to promote my work,
Yeah.
you know. So there's a lot of like different people who are needed for you to be able to put your work into the market, into, you know, to be able to share it.
Yes.
And all of these people, all their like knowledge is as much needed as your own.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I don't know. That's my. It's a collaboration of different technicalities.
Yeah, we're helping each other to exist, essentially.
This was part 1 of our conversation with Albert Galindo. And this was part 1 of our conversation with Albert Galindo. In case you are new here, then don't forget to click on the subscribe button and ring the bell right next to it to get notified as a reminder when part 2 comes out next Sunday. And also to get notified about all the other videos that we publish during the week, in case you didn't know. Enough from me. This was Humans Behind Art. My name is Jacob. I'll see you soon. We come back with new video art every Friday and new interviews of Humans Behind Art every Sunday.